Election is quickly approaching, and there's 4 MP hopefuls in the Vernon-Lake Country-Monashee riding. Anna Warwick-Sears for the Liberal Party, Scott Anderson for the Conservatives, Blair Vischer for the Green Party, and Leah Main for the NDP. Ahead of the federal election, Castanet sat down with each candidate. This week, to help any undecided voters, we're sharing what these candidates said about various issues. Today, we're taking a look at what candidates think the federal government can do to help the economy.
This is a different leader, different situation, different national and international context. Mark Carney is uniquely suited for taking us through an economic crisis. He helped us get through the economic crisis in 2008 when it got really bad in the United States and in different parts of Europe. Canada had relatively small impacts because Mark Carney was the governor of the Bank of Canada. Then when the British put themselves through Brexit, they hired Mark Carney to help them take care of the economy, to help them get the British economy back together after this really not that different kind of situation where they were, wrenched out of the European economy. So I think that people need to step back and look at how the situation has changed and think about what is at stake. The other thing I would really argue for at a time like this, when it is, almost feels like we're on a, economic war footing, is, there's definitely things to be said for change, and there's definitely things to be said for stability. Number one, I think that we need to, at all costs, avoid any policies of appeasement. We can't knuckle under, we can't give in to Donald Trump.
Well, for instance, with seniors, with retired seniors, they would allow seniors to make another $10,000 up to $34,000 without being taxed. Seniors shouldn't have to retire, or shouldn't have to work during the retirement. But if they do choose to, then that's what they'd be allowed to do. We're keeping the retirement age at 65, and we're also allowing RSPs to grow to age 73 instead of age 71, where they are right now. So that gives seniors another 2 years to choose. If you're familiar with equities move up and down. That's a 2-year window to find the best place. In terms of the economy generally, we want a national transportation corridor, and that's for things like railways, electric transmission lines, and pipelines. Had we built the Northern Gateway pipeline back when we were pushing for it, we would be able to turn off the taps to the United States and turn them on to Asia, for instance. So we want to take away some of the redundant regulation and still keep things safe, but really encourage resource development across Canada and getting people working. And there are a bunch of policies that we intend to implement about that. With housing, for instance, we want to open another, I think it's 350,000 trade school openings so that we can get people that can build the homes ready for it. We're going to open up some federal lands to allow home building there. And generally what we want to do is pull down some of the regulations that are holding back the economy. And honestly, I know it may be cliche, but get government out of the way of people.
For sure. So, really, I think a change to our taxation practices is key. What we have happening is Canadians who make the least amount of money pay the most in tax. We have a middle class who's supporting the wealthy business owners and corporations. I really think it should be the reverse. People who are making millions and billions of dollars in profit should pay their fair share of tax, and that would really allow easing of taxation and easing of having to try to keep up with all of these rising costs for everyday Canadians.
Mm-hmm. The first thing that we would do is say and reiterate, Canada is not for sale. and any tariff monies that we collect will go directly to support workers who are losing jobs, not just union workers, but all workers, and to help ameliorate the losses of small businesses and medium-sized businesses. We feel that the corporations have the flexibility, the resiliency, and the resources to weather this storm. Secondly, what we would do is for mostly the big corporations that might be pulling out, for example, the auto industry, mostly back east, if those businesses, factories are shuttered, we would pass legislation that prevents those corporations from removing their physical assets, so that we would retain those physical assets and be able to use them in expanding our trade and economic and employment relationships with other countries.
Tomorrow we'll hear what candidates make of party lines. For Castanet, I'm Chelsea Mutter in Vernon.